Chapter 19, The Key to True Happiness. As we begin to embrace our inner world with greater awareness, we'll discover our constantly changing nature to be one of cause and effect and unmistakable impermanence. We'll start to understand how our own actions influence the emotions we feel, and also realize that we have a certain degree of control over our inner experience. The sense of being a slave to our emotions can make us feel as if we're riding a crazed horse with no reins with which to control it. When we learn to let our bucking bronco writhe inside of us without jumping off at the nearest opportunity, however, we'll more clearly begin to see how we've been contributing to our own discomfort by resisting our experience. It is only by accepting any situation as it truly is and sitting with the feelings that it invokes in us that we can find true happiness. The next time you're feeling uncomfortable, try accepting your experience. Try saying to yourself, "I'm aware that I'm suffering," then slowly and gently feel around for clues as to why you're in such a difficult place. By learning to observe ourselves in this way, we can begin to see any emotional turmoil within as an opportunity to further understand and liberate ourselves from our unconscious fears and desires. To admit that we're human and to have the dignity to acknowledge our fears and limitations is a very rare and courageous thing. With all of the unbalanced attention that our world gives to success, beauty, and material pleasures, this may actually be one of the most difficult things we might ever hope to do. In many ways, we live in a world of denial, a world where weakness and fear are some of the biggest embarrassments imaginable. And rather than embrace the full spectrum of the human condition and the reality of whatever we might happen to be feeling, we instead typically strive for romantic, economic, or social victories that might give us an illusion of control over our lives and our happiness. By focusing only on our outer achievements, however, we can easily ignore the perfection that is within us and let ourselves be led astray from the healing power of our emotions and the wisdom of our inner world. We can also lose sight of the fact that we each possess unique creative gifts that can only be discovered by looking within us. These creative gifts hold the potential to fill us with a deep sense of purpose, confidence, and fulfillment. As we begin tapping into their energy, we'll feel more empowered, engaged, and alive, for our spirits will be dancing to the tune of our own beat. We will also be of greater benefit to others, for our unique gifts will no longer be hidden within us. We will finally be able to share who we truly are with the world, and our authenticity and presence will be an inspiration to others. And the key to finding this place, the key to finding our inner peace, power, and unique creative gifts is one that we all possess. But, unfortunately, we've often been using it to open the wrong door. For so long, we've been using this key, our own awareness, to open the door to judgment and comparison of ourselves with the world around us. We tend to be keenly aware of those around us who are succeeding or failing, and can easily lose our unique sense of self in our constant attempts to find our place within this hierarchy. We jump for joy when we succeed at our goals and become miserable when we fail. We often base our self-worth on how much we have, or even how much we had in the past. "I used to be a great whatever" can become an almost invisible crutch to prop our sagging ego up with. Unfortunately, when we base our sense of happiness on our achievements, acquaintances, or acquisitions, we're setting ourselves up for disappointment. Should these conditions somehow change in ways that we judge to be for the worse, we'll likely discover our degree of happiness deteriorating as well. We tend to forget our inherent wholeness in our never-ending search for happiness outside of us. Yet how could we possibly ever feel like we're enough, or that we have enough, when we're constantly bombarded by advertisements for newer cars, thinner bodies, and more exciting lives? We are continuously lured into putting so much of our energy and attention into trying to improve our external world that we lose sight of the power and beauty of our inner one. As we lose sight of ourselves in our computer and television screens, we also lose sight of the greater picture of who we are and who we might become. We fail to see how we might live in ways that not only can help us become better people and better citizens of this planet, but that can reverse this dangerous, destructive trend we're currently on as a species. We're not separate from the earth, and as we destroy her, we destroy ourselves. With every polluted river that is lost to unconscious manufacturing processes, we're one tiny bit less the people and the planet we potentially could be. By pretending that our actions have no consequence, we threaten ourselves and all species with further pain and suffering. With a growing awareness of the effects of our actions on ourselves and those around us, however, we can make choices that result in greater connection and sustainability. And it is the same key that we've long used to judge others and ourselves that enables us to do this. We have lost sight of the fact that this key, our own awareness, can also open a door that leads away from finding escape and freedom outside of us, and, in fact, leads to true freedom, the freedom to be authentic, happy, and empowered, and to know our true creative gifts and be able to share them with the world. As we start to realize that our previous attempts at filling ourselves up with things outside of us were, in fact, nothing more than hopeless attempts at concealing our inherent wholeness, we can begin to understand that we are, in this moment, already enough. And we can see that it is time to begin closing the door to our outer illusion and start putting this key into the door that leads to our inner world. And as we begin to open this door wider and wider to greater self-awareness and acceptance, we'll start to realize that the path to true happiness is within us, and that our previous attempts at finding fulfillment outside of us ultimately only led to more illusion and confusion. By using our awareness to investigate our inner world instead of using it to judge our outer one, we'll discover that we're capable of changing and growing in ways that will bring us more wisdom and inner peace. And this is change not necessarily in terms of self-improvement, where we're always striving to be more successful, wealthy, or beautiful, but in terms of self-acceptance. And the difference between the two is vast, the former often leading us further and further from our true selves, and closer to an idealized image which we hope will satisfy the critical analysis of those we're hoping to please. By attempting to gain praise, love, and approval from those around us, however, we can forget that by focusing on pleasing an external audience, we're working hard to make others happy rather than ourselves. And, most importantly, we can miss out on the opportunity to discover the most important source of love we might ever hope to find: self-love.